So we have a different video today. I've caught up with a client that I did a photo shoot with just this weekend. Joe Davies or Joe Davies?
Davis.
Yeah. He's got an amazing story to tell. He's a real sort of inspiration and motivational kind of story, I suppose, success story to show how even if you're overweight and you have issues, even mental issues and things, they can be overcome with training and dieting and really kind of sticking to a plan. And we're also with the help of other personal trainers. So anyway, I've caught up with Joe now. We've done our photo shoot, obviously, and I've delivered the pictures and things. And I thought it's time for him really to tell his story. So that's what we're doing now. Bit of a little chit chat, quite informal. And yeah, hope you enjoy Joe's story. So Joe, tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's start with how old are you and how long have you been into personal training?
Well, I'm 30 years old. I'm 31 coming up in September.
Right.
I haven't been a personal trainer very long, only since the beginning of the year, basically, so about 4 months. But I've been involved in training various sports and activities pretty much since high school, right. Playing various sports and always interested in the gym and training, and it was always that little niggle in my mind for bodybuilding as well. So it's always been a passion of mine, really, to be involved in physical activity.
Right. So one question that comes to my mind is, because I know I've seen the pictures of you before you're in the shape you were for the photo shoot, and you know, you struggled with your weight like lots of people struggle with their weight. How come you got so big, basically? That's what I was thinking. You know,
I don't know. I mean, I think I always had a predisposition to carry body fat.
Right.
I was a big child. I was always heavy, heavier than most of the children that I grew up around and went to school with. There was a period in my life when I took up boxing, between the age of 16 and 21. Where I had lost a lot of weight then. I was probably at my fighting weight 12 stone 12 for my height and my build, which was quite slim. Right. But I think due to the way that I was trained and the way that my diet was ran by the trainer who was managing my progress, it caused some detrimental effects to my metabolism, my body. And I recall after quitting boxing at 21, putting on about 5 or 6 stone in 1 year.
Wow.
So it was a massive weight rebound in not a good way. So I struggled my way through my 20s terribly. Very frustrated by it. Didn't really understand nutrition, but tried to eat healthily, train my socks off all the time, played various sports, as I say. I had a couple of years where I played amateur ice hockey. I dabbled in judo, jiu-jitsu, mixed martial arts, various things. American football was another one, but could never get my weight into any kind of reasonable, any reasonable area. So it was a frustration, very much so. So
what made it change? Because like I said, you've come from a sporting background, you've always been into sports. Well, I say a sporting background, but you've always been active, but you've had this weight struggle. How did bodybuilding change all that?
There was a period in my life where I reached a bit of a crossroads. I went through some pretty tough personal things, and it was very much make or break for me. I reached my heaviest in terms of my weight. I was probably about 25 stone. Not in good shape, not psychologically or physically. Been kicked by life a few times, quite badly in a lot of ways. So again, I mentioned about how I felt about bodybuilding as a teenager. Always marveled at
we all do,
the amazing physiques, and I just felt like it was my destiny to pursue that.
Right.
Didn't know where I was going with it, but I had to pursue it. So I took it one day at a time. I started training again. I started with a personal trainer who was more of a friend, more of a, someone I could just, who would hold my hand to get me confident enough to actually walk into a gym and start training again, because I'd gotten into a psychological state where it was tough to even leave the front door.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So for that, go on. Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt, because I was just thinking, when was this? When did you start? How old were you then when you started?
27.
27. So about 3 years ago, yeah.
I was touching 28.
Right. Okay.
So
about
it was 2 years or so.
Okay.
ago.
So not that long ago.
No.
Right. Okay. So tell me, who was this personal trainer then? Who?
That was Adam Chant.
Right.
He's a friend of mine. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Okay.
But
you got the ball rolling, kind of thing.
he was a good friend. He was a guy who who was there for me because no one else was. And we became friends and we became close. And he helped me gain some confidence to actually walk into a gym. It was at that point then where I decided to step it up a level. It was probably about 6 months later, and I joined a gym called Pacific Fitness in Rydfelyn, which was close to where I lived at the time. I lived in Taftswell, which was only down the road, and that's where I met Christian Williams, who is a very well-renowned personal trainer and bodybuilder.
And nice guy.
And very nice guy. Yeah. And I started working with him, and he brought me to where I am today, basically.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. So, what was it, just something you mentioned about life kicking you a few times? Because I'm just trying to think of those who might watch this video or whatever, who are going through similar problems. They may have issues in their life or whatever, but or they may not. I'm just thinking of people who are, like you said, you were having the courage to go into the gym for the first time. Because a lot of people who are overweight may think, oh no, I could never really. Everybody's fit at the gym, and I might feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
I don't really know what
for
I'm
me,
doing.
a gym environment was always natural to me. I've been in and out of it all my life, pretty much, and at least as my adolescent life and young 20s, early 20s. But it was more to do with the way I felt about myself. There was a period in my life I couldn't stand the person I looked at in the mirror.
Right. So the confidence.
Massive confidence issue with myself, and realizing how far away I was from what I wanted to be.
Right.
Was was a lot to doubt myself and to not believe in what I really wanted. But like anything, you work hard enough for it. You train hard enough, you want it enough, you wake up every day and you keep focused on that goal, that dream. You come closer and closer to that. And I'm not there yet. Yeah. But
you're a huge way ahead from where you were.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
It's been an amazing journey and something I like to think that can be used as an example for anybody who wants to have something in terms of fitness or whatever they want in life.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at bodybuilding, it's not just building your body, it's building your mind, and it's building your ability to take on life in a positive way.
That's good, because you said something the other day which was almost like a tagline where you said about how, what was it, how you were bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding saved my life.
Yeah, it saved your life, but you said it almost like a tagline, bodybuilding my life back together or something like that. Through
bodybuilding my life back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I thought bodybuilding my life back, isn't it? It's just funny because it's funny how training, even though you might say, oh, you gotta, so you see a doctor about this, that, and the other, whatever. But just the fact that physical exercise, what it can do for somebody who's depressed or going through problems and overweight or whatever. How much? What can training do? I mean, we've touched on it, but we haven't said about how much weight you've actually lost over the last 2 years. So say how heavy were you to start with, and what you
Well, from the photo shoot, the day of the photo shoot, I was 16 stone.
16 stone.
So my heaviest was 25.
25
Probably a little bit heavier than that now because I've eaten a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, well, that's all right.
yeah, that's fine. But I mean, there's all sorts of chemical reactions that occur in your brain and your body when you exercise, which are all positive to your feeling and well-being. But with those aside, it's training can have such a positive impact on someone's life because it can create a feeling of inner strength and inner value. I personally feel that we all kind of go along in our own lives. We're all very individual. Everyone's kind of into their own thing, and we can get lost in that sometimes. I think, and sometimes you can feel like you're alone. So I think there's various levels of it, but the level I chose to go to gives me the ability to be strong on my own and not need anybody and not need to be in a position where I need reassurance from anyone because I have all the reassurance I need for myself.
Yeah, that's it. So it's confidence, isn't it?
Very much so.
It does. It sounds really bad. I was thinking about do people ever comment you on being overweight? Compliment you on being overweight? People generally compliment you on being in shape, isn't it? They notice that positive thing. So it is a lot to do. It affects your self-esteem and your self-worth, your confidence, and whatever. So it's definitely worth going to the gym, isn't it? And
I would say so.
Being active and things. So just finally then, maybe you could say to the camera if you want to, what would you say to people to encourage them to take up training, even if it's not to the level that you're doing? Like a lot of people genuinely can't do 5 days a week or 7 days a week and twice a day and all that sort of stuff. Any kind of exercise is better than no exercise. So
Absolutely.
What would you say to encourage those who are thinking about it or even not thinking about it?
It's very much a put in to get out game, and whatever your goals are, whatever your dreams are, chase them because it can happen. I'm living proof, very much so.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. That's the end of our little chat. It was quite informal. Didn't really have much of a plan in place what we're going to talk about. Rough idea. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Joe is an inspiration, and if you do think, I haven't got the guts to go to the gym, or it's too much effort to do this sort of thing, or a lot of people sort of think that they want results in this day and age. They want things now. And with training and exercise, it is a long-term...
It's very much the opposite of that. I think that's where people get mixed up.
Yeah, they see the advertising. The adverts often say, I took this pill, 90 days, and all that sort of stuff.
Don't buy that. Money can't buy what you got to earn. You got to get in there and you got to work hard.
Yeah. Consistency.
Consistency is key.
There we go. So I'm going to wrap up this little interview now, and be sure to follow Joe. He's just got an Instagram account, so follow his Instagram account and help with him with that. Twitter, Facebook, all the social media things, and he's a great personal trainer as well. So make sure you check out all his stuff. I'll post all the links in the description down below. And if you like this video, feel free to comment, share, and subscribe even. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And well done.
Thank you.
The end.
Bye.